Hello and welcome to About 6 Acres. I'm Juana.
And I'm Nick.
And today is the day that we finally do a review on our DIY hay feeders.
Yeah, it's not raining. It's actually nice weather. A little hot.
A lot hot.
A lot hot. A lot hot and humid. It says it feels like 102.
And the real temperature, I think, is in the high 80s. So pretty brutal, but you know, we didn't want to put it off any longer because we don't know when it's going to rain again. And we figured this gives you a real perspective because we're going to have to do a deep clean tomorrow. This gives you a good perspective on what it actually looks like and what is working and what we think is not working. So we have actually more than one hay feeder to review.
Yeah, we have the Standalone, we'll call it the Standalone one that we built first, and then we have the one that's attached to the wall. So we didn't clean up any of the mess around the hay feeder, so you get to see what it really looks like.
All right, the goats wanted to be part of the video, so we're going to talk with the baby goats as well. But there were a couple of things that we were trying to address with the hay feeder. The biggest one is the hit to our wallets because they were going through hay like crazy.
Yeah, we would have about, in total between the boys and the girls, we would be getting like 8 of the square bales of hay, like the compressed Stanley ones, like a week. And they were just wasting, I mean, over half of it, just from spilling it on the ground. We didn't have like a central location for the hay feeder that was off the ground. Everything was on the ground with like rubber tubs or little bins, and they would either poop in it, pee in it, or just knock it over as they would fight each other. And then
they also like to sleep in them.
Yeah, Whitey would always, and he was a big dude, so he would sleep in it, and then no one else would eat it, and so that hay would go to waste. The goal was to minimize the amount of hay would be spilled or soiled, and really have a central location that they could all feed out of that was off the ground.
And another element of the spilling hay everywhere is the fact that when hay gets wet, it stinks.
Yeah, you know, especially during fly season, it would stay wet underneath, and so the flies would come, and then
just slippery and
lay all their weird maggots and everything. So yeah, not healthy for the goats.
Let's show you the hay feeder, and then we can talk a little bit about the construction and how it went before they knocked the camera over.
The seismic activity, that's CD.
So we had to shift because all of the babies want to be part of the video.
So it's the boys that are crazy in the havoc. They're headbutting.
The boy.
They're heavy.
Look at this cutie.
You're getting little horns, buddy. You're slow.
Horns.
Slow horn head.
Oh, you are absolutely not light. He's a heavy baby. What is Midnight feeding you? I think he has rocks in there. But between all of those, that's what we were trying to solve for with the first hay feeder. Hold on a second. Let me put this dude down because I can't. Let's talk about this hay feeder first because it was the first one that we built explicitly. And how did you think the construction went of it?
I think it was pretty easy. I mean, I would say 99% of the things we had on hand that we reused. Leftover roofing, the wood, the grate panel from an old gate fence that we had. We only had to get material for the ridge cap and a couple 2x4s.
And 1x4.
And a little 1x4s, yeah, for the roof. But overall, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, so we wound up spending $37, I believe, to build this, which is great. I mean, you're not going to find a hay feeder of this. I think they were like $180, $200 if we were to buy something similar, and it wouldn't have had a roof. So that was one of the big selling points for us, was having that covered area, not only for you know, to protect the hay against rain, but also for some of the shade, which is what they're using now. So simplicity of build, what did you think?
It was simple. And like in the videos of when we did build it, we should have built part of it inside, because getting the whole thing, we assembled it outside the gate and the pen area. It was hard to move in, so we had to disassemble it to move it in.
And reassemble it in.
Yeah.
So, and that's what happens. But what you're seeing here is about 2 weeks worth of waste. So, whereas normally this would be 1 day's worth, maybe even more waste than this.
Yeah.
This is 2 weeks worth of waste that we need to clean up. So in that regard, I feel like we're making good progress. Like we're trending in the right direction. And like you said, we're getting half as much hay, but it feels like they're eating more of that hay that they do get.
And, you know, we know that they don't like the super long strands of
It's on the floor.
alfalfa, because this is just mainly straight alfalfa, so they don't like that long stuff. And some of our goats will pull that out and put it on the ground so they can get the finer things. So, which end up getting collected in the tray, which is a good option because we wanted something, again, to collect that fine chaff when they pull it out. And we will collect that and then throw it back on the top and then clean out any debris or anything that gets in there, mud, you know, things that shouldn't be in there, and we'll clean that out later. But they're enjoying it. You see Lucy's the larger, you know, she's larger, she's able to easily get in through the little grates and pull out what she wants and then get into the tray. The little ones, they're the only ones that'll hop up on the tray to get what they need. They'll put their feet on there and get in there, but they won't jump into the hopper, and that size of the grate is just perfect, again, for them to get their heads in and to get it out. Now that their heads are getting bigger, I don't think they're going to be sticking their heads through, but little ones enjoy it. Even Poppy and Rosa that have horns, again, they don't stick their whole head in there, so they're able to pull out what they want. So overall, I think it's good. It definitely beats the stuff laying on the floor, eating off the floor, because they tend to, again, not want to eat whatever lands on the floor. So the waste that's on the floor, they're not going to touch. We'll end up cleaning that up, but I think they enjoy it.
So if you're considering something like this build, the things that we would keep the same are definitely the size grate. The 4x4s work perfect for them. I know that you've mentioned raising it up a little bit, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea. We didn't want to have all of this too high to the point where it would be difficult for all of them to reach in. So that was part of it, but a little bit higher, oh please, a little bit higher probably wouldn't have hurt anything. But you know, I don't think it would change necessarily how much they use it. I think it would have just helped it make it easier for you to refill. And that's fine. But overall, how would you rate this?
I would give it an 8 out of 10, just because, again, being tall, going underneath and having to load the hay, that's the only real downfall. Again, for the amount of goats that we have, maybe making it a little bigger would have added to it, but you can see the little goats are the only ones that can get onto the tray and really get what they need. They think it's a plaything, but she got some hay.
She got some hay.
And there goes the camera, because Poppy realized
that there's
a tripod.
So I'll go really quick. I give it a 9 out of 10, and the biggest reasons are, number one, it was very easy to build. Number two, it's managed to reduce a lot of our hay waste, which is excellent. Number three, I don't know of anything easier that we could build or anything better that we could build to accomplish our goals. So I think, given that it accomplishes our goal in a simple way, are there things I would change? Possibly. I would want to make it a little bit bigger, but for what it is and what our goals were, I think it's a 9 out of 10. Not a no waste hay feeder, but definitely a much less waste hay feeder.
Much less waste.
Much less waste. So that's this one. Let's go check out the other DIY feeder that we did. When Minnie was about to give birth, we wanted a separate area because we needed to separate her, and it was easier to move the others to this space than to try to move Midnight here. So this was something that we put together very, very, very quickly, and I felt like it's done very good.
We reused a lot of the wood that we had, the 4x4 grate from the gate fence, and then we wanted to cover it, so we had some more roofing panels left over that matches, you know, the pen for the girls, and you know, we're able to attach it to the side of the pen, which was easy. But then we forgot for a while to install this little tray underneath. So what had happened is a lot of the stuff went onto the ground, which we were trying to, prevent.
Yeah.
So we eventually got around to putting the tray on the bottom, and that helped tremendously because
you can see just how much less waste there is on this side than on the other. The other part is, like, you'll notice where it's a little bit warped, it's not perfectly sided, and that's the material that we were going to have to use on the other side, which is again why we went out and bought a couple of extra 2x4s because we didn't want the warped. But on this side we're like, whatever, we just want it done because we were tired of them wasting. And I mean, they were wasting to the point where it was out to here, so we had quite a bit to clean out. So adding the table really helped. I definitely recommend that if you are going to build your own DIY hay feeder and it's in any way similar to this, don't forget the tray. That catch-all helps so much because again, we will come through and just grab what is here and throw it at the top and they'll eat it, and it's good hay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that when they're pulling out, it falls to the ground, and it'll fall to the ground if there's nothing there. So I think this one cost us $0 to build.
Yeah, because we had, again, everything on hand, fence panels, the wood.
Yeah, we wound up using a 2x4 for this instead of the 1x4, which we were a little bit concerned when we were doing it that it would be too heavy, but so far, no problems so far, and hopefully not. I think the only other thing that I would do here, which has nothing to do with the hay feeder, is probably add some more of those pavers because they don't like their hoofs touching the wet ground. So I think if we added some of those, it would help them out a little bit so that they're not necessarily trying to lean onto the hay feeder itself. Nick was a little bit concerned in the beginning because he felt like the slope was too high or too much. So he felt like stuff was going to come out, but so far it has worked out. So.
You see the little ones, they'll get up there and they will jump up into that tray again, them being smaller, and they'll try to nibble stuff. They use it as a back scratcher too, but they'll still eat the hay. And again, they're not going to be this small forever. So it's going to work. Right?
Yeah, you feel
Peanut,
good?
you think it's good?
Hey, sweetie.
And it's good shaded area too. Nice for a little nap.
Would you build this again?
Yeah, I would build something similar to it. Again, you'd see where it is on me, and then having to bend down and get in there. So, I mean, for what we have, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and the biggest part is we considered making it a little bit taller, but we needed to be able to attach it to something, and so this is what we landed on. But what do you think? How would you rate this?
I would give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's that should have put the tray in sooner. That would probably be the only thing. And I don't know. I mean, so far there's been no mechanical issues, no structural issues or anything.
I think I would rate it a 9 out of 10, but it's fulfilling different purposes in that this is not big enough for all of them, whereas the other one does allow so many to eat at once. And as soon as we opened it up so that they can all have all of the space, they all raced to eat out of the other one.
Yeah.
So I think the older girls really do appreciate that other setup better. I don't know what's necessarily different out of it. I don't know if it's just the shade or what it is. But it seems like they use the other ones more readily, whereas the babies like to use this one. But, no complaints here. And it's definitely minimizing waste. And we built it within a very, very, very strict budget.
Yeah. Are you Peanut? Or are you Jeter? I think you're Peanut. I don't know. I can't see your beard. I think you're Peanut. Showing everybody how it's easy to eat. After building those two hay feeders, we decided that we'd tackle the boys because they have a traditional wall metal triangular feeder, but they were having a lot of waste because A, they broke one of the bars on the feeder, which let a lot of the hay on the ground, and they actually will get up onto that metal feeder and like just pull large quantities out, which end up on the floor. We did put a tray underneath, which we'll show you in a bit, to try to collect it, but I will say these boys love to waste hay. The wall feeder that we got from Tractor Supply, and one of the things that we noticed is that they broke off one of the wire sections, which created a hole, and a lot of the hay was being wasted on the ground, and they like to pull stuff out in big chunks and drop it as well. So we were cleaning up a lot of the hay from the ground. So inspired by the tray that we put on both of the girls, we decided to put a little tray to collect whatever falls down. That has worked for a while for this section here, but the boys will sort of use it as like a step up with their front feet to grab up in here and pull stuff out. And as you can see, they still waste some hay, but not as much as they used to. We might need to build something different for them, similar to the wall feeder out there. I don't know. What do you think? Clark just likes sticking his nose deep in the hay, so I don't think it matters to him. Doesn't matter? I love you too, buddy. I love you too.
2 DIY feeders and 1 DIY fix to an existing feeders, and I think overall we've improved things.
Yeah, hay waste has gone down a lot.
Yeah.
From 8 bales of hay a week about to...
We're not proud of that.
to about 4, which is fine. And we have more or less the same number of goats that we've had before, so...
Yeah, we have a few more babies, right? Because we Cash and Whitey are gone. But yeah, so overall, I mean, if we were to rate it based on the goals that we set out with, I think we accomplished those.
Yeah, we're using stuff, not spending a lot of money, minimizing waste, and minimizing our hay budget. So
pretty happy about that then.
Pretty good deal.
Yes, but definitely if you are looking to make your own hay feeder, I think you'd have to assess what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I like the exterior
dual-sided.
Yeah, one, just because I feel like that one gives me the most flexibility. But as far as ease of build, the one that we attached to the wall was pretty easy. It took one afternoon or one day, and we have a video of that called Another DIY Hay Feeder. But whatever you do not recommend the one that we have for the boys.
Yeah, because they will ruin it. They're big dudes, heavy dudes.
They are. If you have any questions that you want us to answer about our DIY feeders or experience, please be sure to drop them into the comment. But for now, we're pretty happy with what we have. And thank you so much for watching.
Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And as always, you're awesome and you're loved.
Until next time.